What's going on, guys? That was a really good jam. I'm gonna have to go back to doing DJ nights on D Live because I miss DJ nights. That was really fun. But that jam that was a really good one. I always have to search royalty free music. Oh, the dance party's over. Put my regular glasses back on. But yeah, I always have to search royalty-free music so that I don't get banned. At this point, I'm going to be like the last person on YouTube anymore because I like just don't ever find a new platform. And anyway, welcome to story time. What's happening? And I apologize for missing last week. I completely forgot that Wednesday was Wednesday until Thursday. And then I was like, I didn't do story time. I just didn't do it. Yeah, DJ nights, Eric, me and Zulu One started doing them. We would just play music on D Live, just take requests of music and just play songs, and it was really fun. Am I back? Am I back? Okay. I had totally just like exited out of my screen, exited out of the internet. So thank you, StreamYard, though, for not shutting down the stream when I am retarded and do stupid shit like that. Much appreciated. Anyway, I'm sorry that I missed story time last week. I forgot that it was Wednesday. Apparently, that day didn't exist in my week last week, and so it was Thursday when I realized that I didn't do story time. And I am sorry. I am so sorry you missed out. But hello to Kirk Wilson, Eric DeLeon, Carrie Skates, Sue Finelli, Walter Williams, and warm greetings, moon landing deniers. This guy in my singles group today, I put up a post asking for weird Wednesday things. So I wanted people to tell me weird stories or facts about themselves. And one guy said that he held $2 million worth of NASA moon rocks when he was at this like Scientology thing. I was like, oh, did you know that moon rocks are all petrified wood? And he just laughed, but I bet you he Googled that. So hopefully he found some interesting stuff. Because yes, moon rocks are all petrified wood. So anyway, you can always count on me for a good tangent. Go to Twitch. It's a good platform with a good chat. Yeah, I have never been on Twitch. Not once. So I don't know. I'm open to checking it out. I wish I could get on Rockfin, but you have to get invited, and no one likes me enough to invite me. So whatever. They're missing out on story time over there. Anyway, I was in the middle of shout outs. I got to Walter Williams. Barbara Zena, hello. How was my trip? Where did I go? Oh, yeah, I went into the ether for a second. My trip is coming up this week. I leave on Saturday with my son, and we're driving down to California. Gonna see some good people, so super excited. Super excited. Zulu 1, what's happening? Hopefully you stay awake this time. I know it's really tough. And Eric says, what single group? It's a Washington singles group, and it is mostly trash. So I enjoy trolling people who like to talk to me for who knows what fucking reason. One guy asked if he could message me the other day. Rockfin is not good. Yeah, I don't like the chat on Rockfin at all. Like, I was on it on the browser yesterday, and it was really bad. I'm going to try it on my computer to see if it's better, but I don't know. I don't really have high hopes for that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just the fact that, like, people can donate stuff, and I don't know. I mean, if I'm going to do this, like, why not get paid for my time if I can? I don't know. I do it because I enjoy it, really, so I don't care. I'll be the last one on YouTube. I don't mind. But what was I saying? Does anyone remember? I have no idea. Oh yeah, I was trolling people in my singles group. So one guy asked if he could message me, and I was like, yeah, I guess. So he messaged me and asked me where I live, and I told him that I live in a van by the river, and he said, wow, that's really cool. So you like a free spirit? You don't have to pay taxes and stuff? I'm like, okay, he doesn't know that I'm joking. And then another question, he asked me what kind of stuff I like to do for fun. I told him that I like to go to flat earth events a couple times a year. And he said, wow, okay. So like, what do you do at those things? And I was like, we talk about how the earth is flat. He's like, I see. Interesting. What else do you do? I'm just like, this guy he does not get that I am trolling him. And it just got to the point that it wasn't even fun anymore. But anyway, it is story time. And if you don't stop me, I will just keep rambling all night long, which I know you all would just love that so much because you're just so dedicated to me and my whack-ass channel. You'd be like, girl, you just talk all you want. Do whatever you need. Put out your PayPal so they don't pay 27% on Rockfin. PayPal's in the description. PayPal.me/findingdottie. And my Cash App is $Dottiesdomes. And my P.O. Box is P.O. Box 1598, Shelton, Washington, 98584. So you can send me money. You can send me seeds. You can send me silver. Silver is good. You can send me bullets for guns that I don't have. That'd be funny. It's probably illegal to send bullets, so maybe don't do that. I don't know. You can send me cool stuff that you made. Send me a letter. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I will accept what you are sending. Doesn't bother me. And if you send like dirty pictures, then I will put it on my target and I will shoot it with an arrow. So you have that to look forward to as well. Anyway, we are still reading The Horse and His Boy by C.S. Lewis, the Chronicles of Narnia series. And yes, please send moon rocks. I will take them. I like rocks. I like pretty rocks. So, I mean, here's a pretty rock that I have. Geode that I busted open. Look at that. Can't see how sparkly it is because the light is terrible. But I like pretty rocks. I will take your moon rocks, yo. No shame. No shame. Anyway, I'm in a weird mood tonight. I don't even know. I was super pissy yesterday, but I'm doing much better today. So glad you're all here. Glad you all are here to listen to me ramble for 13 and a half minutes about absolutely nothing. I'm rock free and proud. How dare you? How dare you? You don't ever go to the beach and just like, ooh, that's a cool rock. I need that. Or the river, whatever. I don't even know you anymore, Eric. So, please, someone stop me. Oh my God. I'm a mess. We're on chapter 7, Aravis in Tashbaan. What had really happened was this. When Aravis saw Shasta hurried away by the Narnians and found herself alone with 2 horses who, very wisely, wouldn't say a word, she never lost her head even for a moment. She grabbed Bree's halter and stood still, holding both the horses, and though her heart was beating as hard as a hammer, she did nothing to show it. As soon as the Narnian lords had passed, she tried to move on again, but before she could take a step, another crier, "Bother all these people," thought Aravis, was heard shouting, "Way, way, way, way for the Tarkina Lazarine!" And immediately following the crier came 4 armed slaves, and then 4 bearers carrying a litter, which was all aflutter with silken curtains, and all a jingle with silver bells, and which scented the whole street with perfumes and flowers. After the litter, female slaves in beautiful clothes, and then a few grooms, runners, pages, and the like. And now Aravis made her first mistake. Oh, by the way, Barbara, I was planning on coming and visiting you and Crumb, but Crumb lost his phone when he was in Maine, and so I can't get a hold of him. I do have his address, but like, I need to talk to you or him or whatever so that I can plan like what day to come down there, because you guys are the farthest, like the farthest people that I would visit in California. So I don't know, like you can email me, Dottieswonderdomes1111@gmail.com, or message me on the Bertaria Times app. But yeah, like I need to like talk to Crumb, and he doesn't have a phone, so it's kind of impossible. But yeah, I don't know if you can like relay the message to him, and yeah, send me your number. Do that. Because I would love to come and visit you guys, but I have to plan that because you're the farthest south that I would see. So anyway, she knew Lazareline quite well, almost as if they had been at school together, because they had often stayed in the same houses and been to the same parties. And Aravis couldn't help looking up to see what Lazareline looked like now that she was married, and a very great person indeed. It was fatal. The eyes of the 2 girls met, and immediately Lazareline sat up in the litter and burst out at the top of her voice, "Aravis, what on earth are you doing here? Your father—" There was not a moment to lose. Without a second's delay, Aravis let go of the horses, caught the edge of the litter, swung herself up beside Lazareline, and whispered furiously in her ear, "Shut up! Do you hear? Shut up! You must hide me! Tell your people!" "But, darling," began Lazareline in the same loud voice. She didn't in the least mind making people stare. In fact, she rather liked it. "Do what I tell you, or I'll never speak to you again," hissed Aravis. "Please, please be quick, Laz. It's frightfully important. Tell your people to bring those 2 horses along. Pull all the curtains of the litter and get away somewhere where I can't be found. And do hurry." Yeah, see, Sue gets it. She has a lot of rocks. She understands. Oh, here's a picture of Lazareline. I don't know if that's clear. You know, pretty girl being carried by slaves. Whatever. "All right, darling," said Lazareline in her lazy voice. "Here, 2 of you take the Tarquinius horses." This is to the slaves. "And now home. I say, darling, do you think we really want the curtains drawn on a day like this? I mean to say—" But Aravis had already drawn the curtains, enclosing Lazareline and herself in a rich, scented, but rather stuffy kind of tent. "I mustn't be seen," she said. "My father doesn't know I'm here. I'm running away." I would never pull your leg about Wonderdomes. Never. "My dear, how perfectly thrilling," said Lazareline. "I'm dying to hear all about it. Darling, you're sitting on my dress. Do you mind? That's better. It is a new one. Do you like it? I got it at—" "Oh, Laz, do be serious," said Aravis. "Where is my father?" "Didn't you know?" said Lazareline. "He's here, of course. He came to town yesterday and is asking about you everywhere. And to think of you and me being here together and his not knowing anything about it. It's the funnest thing I ever heard." And she went off into giggles. She always had been a terrible giggler, as Aravis now remembered. "It isn't funny at all," she said. "It's dreadfully serious. Where can you hide me?" No difficulty at all, my dear, said Lazareline. I'll take you home. My husband's away and no one will see you. Phew, it's not much fun with the curtains drawn. I want to see people. There's no point in having a new dress on if one's to go about shut up like this. I hope no one heard you when you shouted out to me like that, said Aravis. No, no, of course, darling, said Lazareline absent-mindedly, but you haven't even told me yet what you think of the dress. Another thing, said Aravis, you must tell your people to treat those two horses very respectfully. That's part of the secret. They're really talking horses from Narnia. Fancy, said Lazareline. How exciting! And oh, darling, have you seen the barbarian queen from Narnia? She's staying in Tashbaan at present. They say Prince Rabidash is madly in love with her. There have been the most wonderful parties and hunts and things all this last fortnight. I can't see that she's so very pretty myself, but some of the Narnian men are lovely. I was taken out on a river party the day before yesterday, and I was wearing my... How shall we prevent your people telling everyone that you've got a visitor dressed like a beggar's brat in your house? It might be so easily get round to my father. Now, don't keep fussing. There's a dear, said Lazareline. We'll get you some proper clothes in a moment. And here we are. Does no one know that phone number song? What? 8675309. That one? Or the like Jenny Craig phone number song? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. That's the only phone number song I know, though. The bearers had stopped and the litter was being lowered. When the curtains had been drawn, Aravis found that she was in a courtyard garden very like the one that Shasta had been taken into a few minutes earlier in another part of the city. Lazareline would have gone indoors at once, but Aravis reminded her in a frantic whisper to say something to the slaves about not telling anyone of their mistress's strange visitor. Sorry, darling, it had gone right out of my head, said Lazareline. Here, all of you, and you, doorkeeper, no one is to be let out of the house today, and anyone I catch talking about this young lady will be the first beaten to death and then burned alive, and after that be kept on bread and water for 6 weeks. There. Although Lazareline had said she was dying to hear Aravis's story, she showed no sign of really wanting to hear it at all. She was, in fact, much better at talking than at listening. She insisted on Aravis having a long and luxurious bath. Calormene baths are famous. And then dressing her up in the finest clothes before she would let her explain anything. The fuss she made about choosing the dresses nearly drove Aravis mad. She remembered now that Lazareline had always been like that, interested in clothes and parties and gossip. Aravis had always been more interested in bows and arrows and horses and dogs and swimming. You will guess that each thought the other silly, but when at last they were both seated after a meal, it was chiefly of the whipped cream and jelly and fruit and ice sort, in a beautiful pillared room, which Aravis would have liked better if Lazareline's spoiled pet monkey hadn't been climbing about it all the time. Lazareline at last asked her why she was running away from home. When Aravis had finished telling her story, Lazareline said, But, darling, why don't you marry a Hashta Tarkin? Everyone's crazy about him. My husband says he is beginning to be one of the greatest men in Kellerman. He has just been made Grand Vizier. Now old Exartha has died. Didn't you know? I don't care. I can't stand the sight of him, Aravis said. But, darling, only think. 3 palaces, and one of them that beautiful one down on the lake at Ilkeen. Positively ropes of pearls, I'm told, baths of ass's milk, and you'd see such a lot of me. He can keep his pearls and palaces as far as I'm concerned, said Aravis. You always were a queer girl, Aravis, said Lazareline. What more do you want? In the end, however, Aravis managed to make her friend believe that she was in earnest and even to discuss plans. There would be no difficulty now about getting the 2 horses out of the north gate and then on to the tombs. No one would stop or question a groom in fine clothes leading a war horse and a lady's saddle horse down to the river, and Lazareline had plenty of grooms to send. It wasn't so easy to decide what to do about Aravis herself. She suggested that she should be carried out in the litter with the curtains drawn, but Lazareline told her that litters were only used in the city, and the sight of one going out through the gate would be certain to lead to questions. When they had talked for a long time, and it was all the longer because Aravis found it hard to keep her friend to the point, at last Lazareline clapped her hands and said, "Oh, I have an idea! There is one way of getting out of the city without using the gates. The Tisroc's garden, may he live forever, runs right down to the water, and there is a little water door. Only for the palace people, of course, but then, you know, dear," here she tittered a little, "we almost are palace people. I say it is lucky for you that you came to me. The dear Tisroc, may he live forever, is so kind. We're asked to the palace almost every day, and it is like a second home. I love all the dear princes and princesses, and I positively adore Prince Rabidash. I might run in and see if any of the palace ladies at any hour of the day or night. Why shouldn't I slip in with you after dark and let you out by the water door? There are always a few punts and things tied up outside it, and even if we were caught, all would be lost," said Aravis. It's a grand story, Eric. Don't you know that Tarkins probably have multiple lives and they do whatever the hell they want. You're a rich prince. You own the guards, so do what you want. "Oh, darling, don't get excited," said Lazareline. "I was going to say, even if we are caught, everyone would only say it was one of my mad jokes. I'm getting quite well known for them. Only the other day, do listen, dear, this is frightfully funny." "I meant all would be lost for me," said Aravis a little sharply. "Oh, yes, I do see what you mean, darling. Well, can you think of any better plan?" Aravis couldn't and answered, "No, we'll have to risk it. When can we start?" "Oh, not tonight," said Lazareline. "Of course not tonight. There's a great feast on tonight. I must start getting my hair done for it in a few minutes, and the whole place will be a blaze of lights, and such a crowd, too. It would have been tomorrow night." This was bad news for Aravis, but she had to make the best of it. The afternoon passed very slowly, and it was a relief when Lazareline went out to the banquet, for Aravis was very tired of her giggling and her talk about dresses and parties and weddings and engagements and scandals. She went to bed early, and that part she did enjoy. It was so nice to have pillows and sheets again. But the next day passed very slowly. Lazareline wanted to go back on the whole arrangement and kept on telling Aravis that Narnia was a country of perpetual snow and ice, inhabited by demons and sorcerers, and she was mad to think of going there. "And with a peasant boy, too," said Lazareline. "Darling, think of it. It's not nice." Aravis had thought of it a good deal, but she was so tired of Lazareline's silliness by now. For the first time, she began to think that traveling with Shasta was really rather more fun than fashionable life in Tashbaan. So she only replied, "You forget that I'll be nobody, just like him, when we go to Narnia. And anyway, I promised." "And to think," said Lazareline, almost crying, "that if only you had sense, you could be the wife of a grand vizier." Aravis went away to have a private word with the horses. "You must go with the groom a little before sunset down to the tombs," she said. "No more of those packs. You'll be saddled and bridled again, but they'll have to be food in Wynn's saddlebags and a full water skin behind yours, Bree. The man has orders to let you both have a good long drink at the far side of the bridge. And then Narnia and the North, whispered Bree. But what if Shasta is not at the tombs? Wait for him, of course, said Aravis. I hope you've been quite comfortable. Never better stabled in my life, said Bree. But if the husband of that tittering Tarkina friend of yours is paying his head groom to get the best outs, then I think the head groom is cheating him. Aravis and Lazareline had supper in the pillared room. About 2 hours later, they were ready to start. Aravis was dressed to look like a superior slave girl in a great house and wore a veil over her face. They had agreed that if any questions were asked, Lazareline would pretend that Aravis was a slave and she was taking as a present to one of the princesses. The two girls went on foot. A very few minutes brought them to the palace gates. Here there were, of course, soldiers on guard, but the officer knew Lazareline quite well and called his men to attention and saluted. They passed at once into the hall of black marble. A fair number of courtiers, slaves, and others were still moving about here, but this only made the two girls less conspicuous. They passed on into the hall of pillars and then into the hall of statues and down the colonnade, passing the great beaten copper doors of the throne room. It was all magnificent beyond description, what they could see of it in the dim light of the lamps. Presently, they came out into the garden court, which sloped downhill in a number of terraces. On the far side of that, they came to the old palace. It had already grown almost quite dark, and they now found themselves in a maze of corridors lit only by occasional torches fixed in brackets to the walls. Lazareline halted at a place where you had to go either left or right. Go on, do go on, whispered Aravis, whose heart was beating terribly, and who still felt that her father might run into them at any corner. I'm just wondering, said Lazareline. I'm not absolutely sure which way we go from here. I think it's the left. Yes, I'm almost sure it's the left. What fun this is. They took the left-hand way and found themselves in a passage that was hardly lighted at all and which soon began going down steps. It's all right, said Lazareline. I'm sure we're right now. I remember these steps. But at that moment, a moving light appeared ahead. A second later, there appeared from round a distant corner the dark shapes of two men walking backward and carrying tall candles. And, of course, it is only before royalties that people walk backward. Aravis felt Lazareline grip her arm, that sort of sudden grip which is almost a pinch and which means that the person who is gripping you is very frightened indeed. Aravis thought it odd that Lazareline should be so afraid of the Tisroc if he were really such a friend of hers, but there was no time to go on thinking. Lazareline was hurrying her back to the top of the steps on tiptoes and groping wildly along the wall. Here's a door, she whispered. Quick! They went in, drew the door softly behind them, and found themselves in pitch darkness. Aravis could hear by Lazareline's breathing that she was terrified. Tush, preserve us, whispered Lazareline. What shall we do if he comes in here? Can we hide? There was a soft carpet under their feet. They groped forward into the room and blundered onto a sofa. Let's lie down behind it, whimpered Lazareline. Oh, I do wish we hadn't come. There was just room between the sofa and the curtained wall, and the two girls got down. Lazareline managed to get the better position and was completely covered. The upper part of Aravis's face stuck out behind the sofa, so that if anyone came into that room with a light and happened to look in exactly the right place, they would see her. But of course, she was wearing a veil, what they What they saw would not at once look like a forehead and a pair of eyes. Aravis shoved desperately to try and make Lazareline give her a little more room, but Lazareline, now quite selfish in her panic, fought back and pinched her feet. They gave it up and lay still, panting a little. Their own breath seemed dreadfully noisy, but there was no other noise. "Is it safe?" said Aravis at last in the tiniest possible whisper. I think so," began Lazareline, "but my poor nerves." And then came the most terrible noise they could have heard at that moment, the noise of the door opening. And then came light. And because Aravis couldn't get her head any further in behind the sofa, she saw everything. First came the two slaves, deaf and dumb, as Aravis rightly guessed, and therefore used at the most secret councils, walking backward and carrying the candles. They took up their stand, one at each end of the sofa. This was a good thing, for of course it was now harder for anyone to see Aravis once a slave was in front of her and she was looking between his heels. Then came an old man, very fat, wearing a curious pointed cap by which she immediately knew that he was the Tisroc. The least of the jewels with which he was covered was worth more than all the clothes and weapons of the Narnian lords put together. But he was so fat and such a mass of frills and pleats and baubles and buttons and tassels and talismans that Aravis couldn't help thinking the Narnian fashions, at any rate for men, looked nicer. After him came a tall young man with a feathered and jeweled turban on his head and an ivory-sheathed scimitar at his side. He seemed very excited, and his eyes and teeth flashed fiercely in the candlelight. Last of all came a little hump-backed, wizened old man in whom she recognized with a shudder the new Grand Vizier and her own betrothed husband, Ahashta Tarkin himself. The Tisroc is spelled Tisroc, and I don't know if he's in the Marvel movies. Maybe. I mean, why not? Sure. Yeah, same person. As soon as all three had entered the room and the door was shut, the Tisroc seated himself on the divan with a sigh of contentment. The young man took his place standing before him, and the Grand Vizier got down on his knees and elbows and laid his face flat on the carpet. Chapter 8. In the House of the Tisroc. "Oh, my father, and oh, the delight of my eyes," began the young man, muttering the words very quickly and sulkily, and not at all as if the Tisroc were the delight of his eyes. "May you live forever, but you have utterly destroyed me. If you had given me the swiftest of the galleys at sunrise when I first saw that the ship of the accursed barbarians was gone from her place, I would perhaps have overtaken them. But you persuaded me to send first and see if they had not merely moved round the point into better anchorage. And now the whole day has been wasted, and they are gone out of my reach. The false jade, the..." And here he added a great many descriptions of Queen Susan, which would not at all, oh my God. Queen Susan, which would not look at all nice in print. For, of course, this young man was Prince Rabidash, and, of course, the false jade was Susan of Narnia. "Compose yourself, O my son," said the Tisroc, "for the departure of guests makes a wound that is easily healed in the heart of a judicious host." "But I want her," cried the prince. "I must have her. I shall die if I do not get her. False, proud, black-hearted daughter of a dog that she is. I cannot sleep, and my food has no savor, and my eyes are darkened because of her beauty. I must have the barbarian queen." "How well it was said by a gifted poet," observed the vizier, raising his face in a somewhat dusty condition from the carpet, "that deep draughts from the fountain of reason are desirable in order to extinguish the fire of youthful love." This seemed to exasperate the prince. "Dog!" he shouted, directing a series of well-aimed kicks at the hindquarters of the vizier. "Do not dare to quote the poets to me. I have had maxims and verses flung at me all day, and I can endure them no more." I am afraid Aravis did not feel at all sorry for the vizier. The Tisroc was apparently sunk in thought, but when, after a long pause, he noticed what was happening, he said tranquilly, "My son, by all means desist from kicking the vulnerable and enlightened vizier, for as a costly jewel retains its value even if hidden in a dunghill, so old age and discretion are to be respected even in the vile persons of our subjects. Desist, therefore, and tell us what you desire and propose." "I desire and propose, O my father," said Rabadash, "that you immensely call out your invincible armies and invade the thrice accursed land of Narnia and waste it with fire and sword and add it to your illimitable empire, killing their high king and all of his blood except the Queen Susan, for I must have her as my wife, though she shall learn a sharp lesson first." Yeah, smack that bitch. "Understand, O my son," said the Tisroc, "that no words you can speak will move me to open war against Narnia." Michelle L., what's going on? If that is your real name. "If you were not my father, O ever-living Tisroc," said the prince, grinding his teeth, "I should say that was the word of a coward." "And if you were not my son, O most inflammable Rabadash," replied his father, "your life would be short and your death slow when you had said it." The cool, placid voice in which he spoke these words made Aravis's blood run cold. "But why, O my father," said the prince, this time in a much more respectable voice, "why should we think twice about punishing Narnia any more than about hanging an idle slave or sending a worn-out horse to be made into dog's meat? It is not the fourth size of one of your least provinces. 1,000 spears could conquer it in 5 weeks. It is an unseemly blot on the skirts of your empire." "Most undoubtedly," said the Tisroc. "These little barbarian countries that call themselves free, which is as much as to say idle, disordered, and unprofitable, are hateful to the gods and to all persons of discernment. Then why have we suffered such a land as Narnia to remain thus long unsubdued? Know, O enlightened prince," said the Grand Vizier, "that until the year in which your exalted father began his salutary and unending reign, the land of Narnia was covered with ice and snow, and was moreover ruled by a most powerful enchantress." "This I know very well, O loquacious vizier," answered the prince, "but I know also that the enchantress is dead, and the ice and snow have vanished, so that Narnia is now wholesome, fruitful, and delicious." Oh, you got the hiccups. Oh my God. Might kill me. It's always a chance. "And this change, O most learned prince, has doubtless been brought to pass by the powerful incantations of those wicked persons who now call themselves kings and queens of Narnia." "I am rather of the opinion," said Rabadash, "that it has come about by the alteration of the stars and the operation of natural causes." "All this," said the Tisroc, "is a question for the disputations of learned men. I will never believe that so great an alteration and the killing of the old enchantress were effected without the aid of strong magic. And such things are to be expected in that land which is chiefly inhabited by demons in the shape of beasts that talk like men and monsters that are half men and half beasts. It is commonly reported that the High King of Narnia, whom may the gods utterly reject, is supported by a demon of hideous aspect and irresistible maleficence, who appears in the shape of a lion. Therefore, the attacking of Narnia is a dark and doubtful enterprise, and I am determined not to put my hand out farther than I can draw it back. How blessed is Calormen, said the vizier, popping up his face again, on whose ruler the gods have been pleased to bestow prudence and circumspection. Yet, as the irrefutable and sapient Tisroc has said, it is very grievous to be constrained to keep our hands off such a dainty dish as Narnia. Gifted was the poet who said, but at this point Ahashta noticed an impatient movement of the prince's toe and became suddenly silent. It is very grievous, said the Tisroc in his deep, quiet voice. Every morning the sun is darkened in my eyes, and every night my sleep is less refreshing because I remember that Narnia is still free. Thanks. Oh, my father, said Rabbadash. How if I show you a way by which you can stretch out your arm to take Narnia and yet draw it back unharmed if the attempt prove unfortunate? If you can show me that, O Rabbadash, said the Tisroc, you will be the best of sons. Hear then, O father, this very night and in this hour I will take but 200 horse and ride across the desert, and it shall seem to all men that you know nothing of my going. On the second morning I shall be at the gates of King Loon's castle of Anvard in Archenland. They are at peace with us and unprepared, and I shall take Anvard before they have bestirred themselves. Then I will ride through the pass above Anvard and down through Narnia to Cair Paravel. The High King will not be there. When I left them, he was already preparing a raid against the giants on his northern border. I shall find Cair Paravel, most likely with open gates, and ride in. I shall exercise prudence and courtesy and spill as little Narnian blood as I can. And what then remains but to sit there till the Splendor High Line puts in, with Queen Susan on board, catch my strayed bird as she sets foot ashore, swing her into the saddle, and then ride back to Anvard. But it is not probable, O my son, said the Tisroc, that at the taking of the woman either King Edmund or you will lose his life. They will be a small company, said Rabbadash, and I will order 10 of my men to disarm and bind him, restraining my vehement desire for his blood, so that there shall be no deadly cause of war between you and the High King. And how if the Splendor High Line is at Cair Paravel before you? I do not look for that with these winds, O my father. And lastly, O my resourceful son, said the Tisroc, you have made clear how all this might give you the barbarian woman, but not how it helps me to the overthrowing of Narnia. Oh, my father, can it have escaped you that though I and my horsemen will come and go through Narnia like an arrow from a bow, yet we shall have Anvard forever. And when you hold Anvard, you sit in the very gate of Narnia, and your garrison in Anvard can be increased by little and little till it is a great host. It is spoken with understanding and foresight, but how do I draw back my arm if all this miscarries? You shall say that I did it without your knowledge, and against your will, and without your blessing, being constrained by the violence of my love and impetuosity of youth. And how if the High King then demands that we send back the barbarian woman, his sister? Oh, my father, be assured that he will not. For For though the fancy of a woman has rejected this marriage, the High King Peter is a man of prudence and understanding who will in no way wish to oh my god wish to lose the high honor and advantage of being allied to our house and seeing his nephew and grandnephew on the throne of Calormen. He will not see that if I live forever, as is no doubt your wish, said the Tisroc in an even drier voice than usual. And also, oh, my father, and oh, the delight of my eyes, said the prince after a moment of awkward silence. We shall write letters, as if from the queen, to say that she loves me and has no desire to return to Narnia, for it is well known that women are as changeable as weathercocks. That's a weird word. And even if they do not wholly believe the letters, they will not dare to come to Tashbaan in arms to fetch her. Oh, enlightened vizier, said the Tisroc, bestow your wisdom upon us concerning this strange proposal. Oh, eternal Tisroc, answered Ahashta, the strength of paternal affection is not unknown to me, and I have often heard that sons are in the eyes of their fathers more precious than carbuncles. How then shall I dare freely to unfold to you my mind in a matter which may imperil the life of this exalted prince? Undoubtedly you will dare, replied the Tisroc, because you will find that the dangers of not doing so are at least equally great. To hear is to obey, moaned the wretched man. Know then, O most reasonable Tisroc, in the first place, that the danger of the prince is not altogether so great as might appear, for the gods have withheld from the barbarians the light of discretion, and that their poetry is not like ours, full of choice apothegms and useful maxims, but is all of love and war. Therefore nothing will appear to them more noble and admirable than such a mad enterprise of this, as this of ow, for the prince at the word mad had kicked him. I don't understand this chapter. I mean, I guess I do. They're making a plan, but I don't know. There's so many fancy words. I'm like, what's happening? Desist, O my son, said the Tisroc, and you, estimable vizier, whether he desists or not, by no means allow the flow of your eloquence to be interrupted, for nothing is more suitable to persons of gravity and decorum than to endure minor inconveniences with constancy. This is like the book reading club. Yes, I will expect a full handwritten report turned in by Monday. Thank you very much. To hear is to obey, said the vizier, wriggling himself round a little so as to get his hinder parts further away from Rabadash's toe. Nothing I say will seem as pardonable, if not estimable, in their eyes as this hazardous attempt, especially because it is undertaken for the love of a woman. Therefore, if the prince by misfortune fell into their hands, they would assuredly not kill him. Nay, it may even be that though he failed to carry off the queen, yet the sight of his great valor and of the extremity of his passion might incline her heart to him. This is a very good point, old babbler, said Rabadash. Very good. However, it came into your ugly head. The praise of my masters is the light of my eyes, said Ahashta. And secondly, O Tisroc, whose reign must and shall be interminable, I think that with the aid of the gods, it is very likely that Anvard will fall into the prince's hands, and if so, we have Narnia by the throat. I like chess. Chess is fun. The first game of chess I ever won I beat a 7-year-old child. So I don't know if that says that I suck or he's really good or both of those combined. I don't know. Anyway, first game of chess I ever won was against a child. I would not want backside by a toe either. I thought C.S. Lewis was a Christian. Yeah, I mean, didn't people get whipped in the Bible? Like, you act like nobody ever did scandalous shit in the Bible. Come now. There was a long pause, and the room became so silent that the two girls hardly dared to breathe. At last the Tisroc spoke. "Go, my son," he said, "and do as you have said, but expect no help nor countenance from me. I will not avenge you if you are killed, and I will not deliver you if the barbarians cast you into prison. And if, either in success or failure, you shed a drop more than you need of Narnian noble blood, and open war arises from it, my favor shall never fall upon you again, and your next brother shall have your place in Kellerman. Now go, be swift, secret, and fortunate. May the strength of Tash, the inexorable, the irresistible, be in your sword and lance." No, so much sexual innuendo. I mean, yeah, also wouldn't like, isn't that in the Bible too? I mean, didn't Jesus say that if you look upon a woman's ass, you should stab your eyes out? I mean, that's pretty intense. Guess that's telling you not to be a sexual degenerate, but still, like, Jesus didn't mess around. Yeah, because Jesus beat people and cussed them in the Bible too. Because he hung out with the prostitutes and tax collectors. Like, you have to beat them to get them to listen. Like, they ain't gonna listen to just kind words. No, you have to get on their level, or else they ain't taking you seriously. Sometimes you gotta slap a hoe. "To hear is to obey," cried Rabadash, and after kneeling for a moment to kiss his father's hands, he rushed from the room, greatly to the disappointment of Aravis, who was now horribly cramped. The Tisroc and the Vizier remained. "O Vizier," said the Tisroc, "is it certain that no living soul knows of this council we three have held here tonight?" "Oh, my master," said Ahashta, "it is not possible that any should know." "For that very reason I proposed, and you in your infallible wisdom agreed, that we should meet here in the old place where no council is ever held and none of the household has any occasion to come." You guys are funny. "It is well," said the Tisroc. "If any man knew, I would see to it that he died before an hour had passed. And do you also, O prudent Vizier, forget it. I spurned away from my own heart and from yours all knowledge of the prince's plans. He is gone without my knowledge or my consent, I know not whither, because of his violence and the rash and disobedient disposition of youth. No man will be more astonished than you and I to hear that Anvard is in his hands." "To hear is to obey," said Ahashta. "That is why you will never think, even in your secret heart, that I am the hardest hearted of fathers who thus send my firstborn son on an errand so likely to be his death, pleasing as it must be to you who do not love the prince, for I see into the bottom of your mind." There's probably an old granny watching this in a nursing home somewhere right now, like, "Hey, that's my grandson typing that." Oh, impeccable Tisroc, said the vizier. In comparison with you, I love neither the prince nor my own life, nor bread, nor water, nor the light of the sun. Your sentiments, said the Tisroc, are elevated and correct. I also love none of these things in comparison with the glory and strength of my throne. If the prince succeeds, we have Archenland, and perhaps hereafter Narnia. If he fails, I have 18 other sons, and Rabadash, after the manner of the eldest sons of kings, was beginning to be dangerous. More than 5 Tisrocs in Tashbaan have died before their time because their eldest sons, enlightened princes, grew tired of waiting for their throne. He had better cool his blood abroad than boil it in inaction here. And now, O excellent vizier, the excess of my paternal anxiety inclines me to sleep. Command the musicians to my chamber, but before you lie down, call back the pardon we wrote for the third cook. I feel within me the manifest prognostics of indigestion. What is the sexiest fruit? Wouldn't that be a peach? I shouldn't be allowed to make jokes because, I make myself laugh, but I think I'm just a wreck. To hear is to obey, said the Grand Vizier. He crawled backward on all fours to the door, rose, bowed, and went out. Even then the Tisroc remained seated in silence on the divan till Aravis almost began to be afraid that he had dropped asleep. But at last, with a great creaking and sighing, he heaved up his enormous body, signed to the slaves to precede him with the lights, and went out. The door closed behind him, the room was once more totally dark, and the 2 girls could breathe freely again. And that concludes another night of story time. I hear your phone blowing up, messenger bings. Yeah, currently in a group chat with like 5 girls, and I have a few messages from a few people. I don't know. I'm just like so popular, but not like I have a boyfriend texting me, so whatever. So let's see what's going on. You all are talking about apples in chat, and Eve. I don't know. I wish I knew more about the Bible, because these books are supposed to be a mirror of the Bible. And I don't really know which stories this book is about. But I don't know. It's a really good one. It's really, really great once they're out of Tashbaan. But anyway, yeah. Prince Rabadash is going to try and kidnap Queen Susan and, overtake Anvard and eventually Narnia. So the plot is getting quite thick in here. But trying to let my mind wander so that I might have a thought for y'all. Wait, I am a boy and I am your friend. I messaged you before. This is true. This is true. So true. I think I'm going to block you now, in fact. So, yeah. Hey, Sinjaman, what's happening? Yeah, anyway, my next story time will be next Wednesday, of course, and I will be on my road trip. So I don't know where I'm going to be. So that might be kind of fun. If I don't have service, though, we'll not be doing story time. But I would imagine that I will be in a place that has service. And no, this is not a map of Tartaria. This is a map of, let me see if I can get it. Narnia. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? It would be awesome if it was a map of Tartaria. But no, it's a map of Narnia. And yeah, I'm quite fond of it. It's really gigantic. Like, I wish that I could put the Doc Michael, hello. Yeah, I am planning on seeing Sue, so I will be in the area. So I would love to meet you, Doc Michael. Unless you're a troll, then you get banned for life. So there's that. But yeah, I wish that you guys could see the whole map because it's quite detailed and it's wonderful, and it's literally like 5 feet across. There's this side, the shuddering wood right next to my head. So have fun with that joke. What material is the map made of? Cotton? I mean, maybe. I don't know. It's really soft. It's quite nice. I would guess like a cotton polyester blend. Yeah, this side of it is quite soft, but this side feels like nylon almost, or like polyester. It's definitely a blend of something. When I ban trolls, they say I'm censoring them. Yeah, well, you know, if you're lucky, they'll make a hit piece on you and give you more people coming to your channel. So I'm always scared. I've never looked to see if anyone has made a hit piece on me. Anytime trolls come to my channel, I just ban them immediately. I just like barely read their comment and I don't register it, and then I delete them. And they're banned for life. And their comment is gone. They're not allowed to be on my channel. And yeah, it feels great. It's the only way to live. You ban them for life. They don't deserve to be in your space. So, yeah. Yeah, I leave on my road trip on Saturday. So I'm going down to California. I'm going to see my Flat Earth fam. Get to see Sue Finelli. Hopefully Doc Michael, hopefully Crumb, if I can get a hold of him, Barbara Zena, because she's like right there by Crumb. Who else? I get to see Daryl Davis. I think Nathan Thompson is still staying with Daryl, so that's going to be awesome. I'm also going to see my buddy in Portland, Rasta Bear. He's super cool. Excited for that. I'll probably see one of my girlfriends from, man, like middle school, I think. I think she's in Oregon too. So I'll probably see her. I'm going to sneeze. I told you. I told you. Algorithm, hey, what's happening? You missed story time, but that's okay because you can always rewind. But anyway, yeah, I'm having a meetup when I get back from my road trip, August 1st. Thank you, Kirk. August 1st, Seahurst Park, Burien, Washington, 1 p.m. It's on the waterfront, so you can bring beach stuff. You can bring stuff to barbecue in the little barbecue area. It should be a really good time. That's the place that I found all of my sea glass from. So I'm super excited to get more sea glass. And yeah, it's going to be a really good time. So come out and play on the beach with me. And yeah, all ages welcome. So bring your friends, bring your kids. Hide your kids, hide your wife. No, don't hide them, bring them. And yes, I'll go. Story time is quite fun. It is quite fun. I topped out at 11 live viewers tonight. So my channel is, you know, one step away from being YouTube famous. So I'm just crushing the deep state, apparently. Man, I'm just like in a weird mood, but I'm in a good mood. So it's a good thing. Yum, I make the best turkey tacos and I cannot type with sticky fingers. I hate sticky fingers more than anything probably in the whole realm. I really get violently angry when my hands are sticky and I really can't do it. Take callers. I have never had callers on my show. So what do I do? Do I just like throw out the link in chat and then you can jump in if you want? I mean, I have to go to bed pretty soon, but I'll have to think about that. I should take callers sometime. I really should. I really should. It's always a party with me. Yeah, you know it. You know it. I don't even have to drink to be a party. Just get me rambling and you never know where the night is going to take you. He takes callers on StreamYard. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to think about that. I have to mentally prepare myself. I haven't streamed with anyone in quite a while. I don't even know. I have no thoughts. I have literally zero thoughts. Way to go. You have turned my mind to gravy and you broke my mind. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to take callers tonight, but that does sound like a good idea. So I will definitely consider that, and maybe we'll do that next week. I don't know. I'm not. That question just like totally threw me off. I was not expecting anyone to like be wanting to jump in stream with me. I don't know why. I mean, you're all willing to be in chat with me, so why wouldn't you be willing to like chat with me in real life? But yeah, I do think I'm gonna get out of here. Don't forget to buy your tickets for Flattoberfest 2021. It's in Spartanburg, South Carolina. October 23rd and 24th. I hope that's the right dates. Yeah, that's the right dates. But yeah, buy your tickets. I will be at the singles mingle, so I'll be one of the outnumbered females, so you can have fun with that. I get really awkward in person. It's great, and I don't understand it when people hit on me, so I am just great to be around when I'm like single and don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Don't you love this place? Jason, yes, I do. Who doesn't love story time and ramble time with Dottie? Yeah. Make Dottie go red. Oh, goodness. Please don't. That's always a good time. That is always a good time. Yeah. Please don't do that. I feel like my face is getting red just from me saying that. So women get to be choosy there. Good for the XY chromosome crowd. Yeah, you know what? Like, if you want a farm and you want to eat fresh veggies out of my garden and you are like, want to be my husband? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm not very picky Like, really. I really am not. Like, I just want to, like, not get my hopes up anymore. Like, I've had my hopes up a little too much in dating. And this last guy that I was trying to date, it really, not gonna lie, it really, like, kind of crushed me when that fell through. Because I thought he was going to be the one, and he was not. And I don't know. It is what it is. But I'm really not that picky in dating. Just like, you know that the earth is not a spinning ball, want to live on a farm, be a good dude, want to marry me. I'm not asking for much. Like, I will make you bread and grow you food in the garden and take care of chickens and goats. And I don't know. I feel like I would be like quite quite enjoyable to date. I mean, I love to snuggle. I like long walks on the beach. I'm a fan of pretty rocks. I didn't know that this was going to turn into dating night with Dottie, and now I've hit 13 live viewers. So apparently, I have to talk about what I want in dating more often, because that's getting more viewers on my channel. Should I pack my bags? I mean, are you moving to Washington? Like, that was what made me and that guy break up, because I couldn't move to where he was, and he wasn't moving to where I am. And so we ended it, and it really, really sucks. Honestly, does. Can I use a chainsaw? Fuck yeah. Who can't use a chainsaw? I won't even cut off my leg, man. I love cutting down shit. Like, oh yeah. Always wanted to learn how to fell a tree, so I ain't your daddy. Oh my God. Am I driving from Washington State to Flattoberfest? I am pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I still can't decide, but I'm pretty positive that I am. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be unemployed at the beginning of October, and I know that people are flying. Like, I don't feel like it's like an issue to fly. They're not like requiring proof of the wax or anything. And but yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna drive. I don't know. I think I'm gonna take like a 2-week adventure, but I feel like I should find people to drive with me so that we can split costs of the travel. But at the same time, that's a really long drive, and I mean, no offense to anyone, but I don't know that I want to be in a vehicle with someone that long. I mean, maybe it could be fun, like, depending on who it is. Like, could be really fun, or it could be a really good way to, like, get rid of a friend. So, I don't know. Because, I mean, the best way to get rid of a friend is to have them as your roommate. And chances are, at the end of it, you will not be friends with that person anymore. Yes, exactly, Algo. You better really like the person you're driving with. Yeah, and I don't know. I do like some people quite a lot, but it's multiple days of driving, and I just don't know that I like anyone that much. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I am definitely an introverted extrovert. So I can be very social and like lively with people. And then I get to a point that I'm like, kindly don't speak to me, because I will cut a bitch if you speak to me right now. So, Better than riding the Greyhound bus? Yes. Yes, indeedly. Deedly do. It's so long. Yeah, it's quite a long drive. I mean, it's like 4 days without stopping. So I don't know. I really don't know. I can't decide. Like I probably should decide, because if I'm gonna fly, I need to get my ticket like now. I don't know. I really don't know. I need someone to make the decision for me. I really don't know. Someone tell me what I should do. Tell me, should I drive from Washington, or should I just suck it up and fly? Because, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I probably should just fly, honestly. Because then I can spend more time there. And I can, like, not be in the car so much. Because, like, if it's just me, like, it's going to take, like, a week to get there. But road trips are super fun. Yes, you should drive. I think you're gonna have to drive. Gonna have to. Wow. Well, sounds like a challenge. If you got the money to fly, spread your wings and fly. Yeah, I know. Because if I fly, then I can spend way more time there, which is really appealing, because I would like to get a tattoo from Watson while I'm there. I mean, I can do that if I drive either way, but I don't know. Yeah, I probably will fly, honestly, because I get like really restless legs even on the flight, and so sitting in a car for literally multiple days sounds like my legs would probably run away without me. So, yeah, I probably should just suck it up and fly. Life is not the destination. Life is along your travels. That's true. It is. But flat earth tattoos. Yeah. So I have a mermaid, a pinup mermaid on my leg that I'm getting finished in November over here. But in October, so I think the next one that I want is there we go, an arrow with a lotus kind of thing on my forearm here. But I'm also going to let Watson have his own spin on it. But then also, I would like to get a hand tattoo with like tree of life, a flat plain realm, and then like some symbols on my fingers and like some shit on here. I don't know. I'm pretty much going to tell Watson like a basic idea of what I want, and then let him have creative freedom on it, because I trust his work enough to just be like, this is kind of what I want. You go ahead and make it happen. I love driving, but that's crazy long. Plus my back doesn't even let me sit long now. Yeah, I feel like I would die sitting that long. Like I really do. I do love road trips, but only road trips where like, they get to stop at a ton of places along the way and like visit the sites. But like just a road trip of just driving, yeah, I might die. Steal a car on the West Coast, leave it on the East Coast. Now you're thinking. Where was the one? Seeing it that way because it's your passport to fly by then. England Prime Minister today announced ID passport starting September 1st. Yeah, that's the thing that I'm worried about, that they're going to require that you had the acts or you like have to get tested, or that you, I don't know. Yeah, that's why I was that's why I was considering driving. I just don't know. I still can't decide. Anyway. You get a tattoo, you're supposed to make sure it's something that is always going to be true about you and that is never going to change. That's what I was told by the tattoo peoples. Yeah, so my first tattoo was the drama masks, like happy and sad masks, because I was a drama geek in high school. So that will always be true. I have a love for acting in my heart. Probably why I do YouTube now, because I mean, you get to be like a whack ass character all the time. Um, but yeah, my second tattoo is a big Pisces symbol on my back, which I'm a Pisces, so that's not planning on changing. And then my third tattoo is a pin-up mermaid on my leg that I'm going to get finished in November. And that is true for me too, because I have a love of mermaids, and I always say that I'm a mermaid on land currently. And so yeah, no regrets on my tattoos so far. My drama mask one, I wish that I had gotten it in a different place, because it's on like my stomach, like kind of like my lower stomach. I don't even know, but it like got a little stretched out when I was pregnant, but it's all good. Just gives it more character. It's a tramp stamp. No, I don't have a tramp stamp. My Pisces one is in the middle of my back. But yeah, the arrow lotus thing, that one will be a good one because I shoot a bow and I love arrows and love lotus, really good symbol. And then the tree with the flat earth thing on my hand, that one will be true as well, because I think that we live on the biggest tree of life that there ever possibly could be. And that ain't changing. That may evolve, but I am a tree earther, not a flat earther. I'm a tree earther. But, I mean, people aren't ready for flat earth. They definitely aren't ready for tree earth. So I just say flat earth because it's just easier for the sheep, because then they can think whatever fucking crazy thing they want to think about me, and it's fine. It is what it is. But yes, I am a tree earther. So do whatever you want with that information. It's sure ain't a ball either way. There you go. As long as you know that, you're already one step closer to marrying me. So who's really winning here? I have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyway, I do think that I'm going to get out of here. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. Never had the slightest desire to have a tattoo. Why do people want one anyway? Enlighten me. I honestly don't know, because like they are painful. It's no doubt. They're expensive, but I mean, we have all this body as a canvas, so why not have it decorated? I don't know. I don't really know what the point of tattoos is, but I love them and I want many more. So I think you just either are a tattoo person or you're not. And I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, you either get it or you don't. And nobody can make you get it if you don't want to. Anyway, that isn't pain. What are you saying, Algo? Oh, great, a tree-hugging hippie. Don't talk shit about my tree friends, Kirk. Yeah. Oh, I do love the trees. I really do. They're good. They're good people. Yeah. Anyway, thanks y'all for tuning in to story time. Same time next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Unless I'm out of service, but I'll try and plan on being somewhere that I have service. So be in a new location, and I might be with a friend. I literally have no idea where I'm going to be, but I will be in California somewhere. If I have to stream on the side of the road, I will do that. Zulu One, what's happening? I hope that you made it awake. You're never like playing in chat anymore, but I hope that you're doing well. Anyway, I'll give you all some shout outs. And then I'm going to get out of here, or else you're going to get me to keep rambling, which I know you all love so much. Hello to Carrie Skates, Zulu One, Doc Michael, Eric DeLeon, Michelle L, Singeman, Kirk Wilson, Algorithm. Scrolling. We're scrolling. Jason. Oh, it jumped like way ahead. Whatever. Sue Vanelli, Barbara Zena, Singerman. Did I say your name? I think I did. I said it again. So enjoy. You're special tonight. Oh, and tune in to Zulu One's channel on Monday with Zulu One and Waters Above, because there's a special edition of Trivial Night with Zulu One, Waters Above, team leader Sue Finelli, and myself, Dottie's World. We will be having a trivial night with Zulu's Angels, and I get to be on there. Yeah, so excited. It's going to be awesome. So that will be Monday night on Zulu's channel. It's 4:30 my time. It's probably like 7 hours later Zulu's time. So you have to figure it out on your own. Whatever time it's streaming for you, be there or be sphere. So super excited for that. Yeah, and then I will see you all on my channel on Wednesday. Definitely get a Strange World tat with Zulu One, Mark, and Karen B on your back. I mean, who knows? The possibilities are endless of what I could get tattooed. You just never know. But anyway, I'll see you all on Monday on Zulu's channel, and I'll see you all here on Wednesday on my channel. Road trip story time. So that will be fun. I love you all so much. I'll see you all on the flat side. And thanks again for tuning in to Storytime with Dottie. Peace out, motherfuckers.